Welcome to Thinking West, Great Books Explored. I'm Christian Poole. And today we're going to be trying something a little different than our normal face-to-face format. Adam Dracos, one of the editors at ThinkingWest.com, is going to give a reflection on St. Augustine's Confessions. And it's going to be a little different format, so let us know in the comments if you like the new format. We're not going away from the face-to-face videos, but I thought I would just give you all a heads up that this is another format that will run in parallel. So we're going to be doing reflections on different works along the way as talking about the great books in general and other topics related to it in this face-to-face format. So that won't go away. Drop a comment, let us know how you like it, and enjoy.
Hey guys, it's Adam Dracos from Thinking West. Today I'd like to discuss 3 ways St. Augustine's Confessions describes the modern world. As a quick background, St. Augustine was a bishop from North Africa around the 4th century. He's widely considered one of the most influential early Christians, mainly due to his prominent writings. He documents his early life and eventual conversion to Christianity in his autobiographical work, The Confessions. After reading through it recently, I noticed Augustine's descriptions of the ancient Roman world have some parallels with our own modern society. So let's dive in. Number 1. Education without virtue. Now, if you're up to date on current cultural trends, it probably isn't a surprise to learn that our modern educational system promotes some questionable, if not downright dangerous, ideologies. Augustine noticed a similar trend while he was being instructed as a young pupil in the Roman Empire. In one example, Augustine laments how he was forced to learn, upon punishment of violence, myths about the Roman god Jupiter's vulgar exploits. He writes, "These words are not learned one whit more easily because of this vileness, but through them the vileness is more boldly perpetrated. I do not blame the words, for they are, as it were, choice and precious vessels. But I do deplore the wine of error which was poured out to us by teachers already drunk. And unless we also drank, we were beaten, without liberty of appeal to a sober judge. And yet I learned these things willingly and with delight, and for it I was called a boy of good promise." Here Augustine remarks about how the descriptions of Jupiter's exploits certainly weren't PG, and it's clear that he didn't find them suitable for study, especially for younger pupils. We can see parallels of this today when schools promulgate controversial topics rather than focusing on the basic subjects like math and science. Augustine's writings prove that the difficulties we face in trying to educate our children properly are nothing new at all, but ancient in origin. Number 2. The distraction of popular culture. Like today in the ancient world that Augustine described, there were various forms of amusement available. Throughout his travels, Augustine realized that popular entertainment wasn't always edifying. It often glorified immoral conduct and distracted one from more productive activities. Augustine writes about how his pupil, Alypius, becomes addicted to one of the most gruesome trends of his day, the gladiatorial games, and stopped appearing for Augustine's lessons. He writes, "I then came to discover how fatally he doted upon the circus, and I was deeply grieved, for he seemed likely to cast away his very great promise, if indeed he had not already done so. For as soon as he saw the blood, he drank in with it a savage temper, and he did not turn away, but fixed his eyes on the bloody pastime, unwittingly drinking in the madness, delighted with the wicked contest, and drunk with bloodlust. He was now no longer the same man who came in, but was one of the mob he came into, a true companion of those who had brought him thither. Why need I say more? He looked, he shouted, he was excited. He took away with him the madness that would stimulate him to come again, not only with those who first enticed him, but even without them, indeed dragging in others besides." The passage underscores how popular culture often celebrates immorality, and Alypius's plight shows us that these distractions can prevent us from pursuing worthwhile goals. Today's distractions may not be at the same intensity as a bloodthirsty mob cheering for death, drunk on bloodlust. However, popular culture still tries its best to ensnare us with time-sucking social media, graphic TV shows, and music featuring obscene lyrics. Number 3. The limits of materialism. A modern sentiment that just won't die is the idea that science and religion are irreconcilable. This is because people often confuse science with materialism, believing that the physical universe is the only thing that exists. This of course rules out any possibility of deities or the supernatural. Augustine recognized this line of thinking in his own time, as he bemoaned the astrologers who failed to inquire about the universe's grand design. He writes, "They have discovered much, and have foretold many years in advance the day, the hour, and the extent of the eclipses of those luminaries, the sun and the moon. Their calculations did not fail, and it came to pass as they predicted, and they wrote down the rules they had discovered, so that to this day they may be read, and from them may be calculated in what year, and month, and day, and hour of the day, and at what quarter of its light either the moon or the sun will be eclipsed, and it will come to pass just as they predicted. And men who are ignorant in these matters marvel and are amazed, and those who understand them exult and are exalted, both by an impious pride withdraw from you and forsake your light. They foretell an eclipse of the sun before it happens, but they do not see their own eclipse, which is even now occurring. For they do not ask, as religious men should, what is the source of the intelligence by which they investigate these matters." The similarities between the astrologers mentioned in Augustine's writings and the modern materialist atheist crowd are striking. Modern materialists often reduce every question to science and fail to inquire into the intelligence by which the universe is ordered. Although a useful tool for matters of the physical universe, science is not equipped to handle the why questions, only the how. Proponents often ignore the field of philosophy and theology altogether. Augustine's reflection on the materialist astrologers proves that many of man's new ways of thinking are really ideas that have been recycled for generations. So there you have it, 3 ways St. Augustine's Confessions describes the modern world. As with much ancient literature, I'm always surprised at how relatable and truly insightful the writers were. One of the most important things I've learned from reading the great books is that there really is nothing new under the sun, and that the human condition hasn't changed a bit. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this. And as always, read on.